Hello, ladies and ghouls and non-binary vampires. I actually ended up not coming up with anything better. Sorry.
And all I've got to offer is sensitivity, intelligence, and charm.
Happy Halloween! And ride with pride. There is so much we could talk about this month. We could do a deep dive into a specific genre of horror. We could talk about the history surrounding the holiday. We could talk about how Scary Godmother is actually a queer masterpiece. But we're not going to do any of that because this is my channel and you guys should be used to subpar content at this point. Sorry, I'm actually on the clock at work right now. Over the past few years, I've noticed that we're losing a piece of Halloween tradition that's always been pretty special to me. Yes, kids aren't really trick-or-treating or dressing up like they used to, but I'm talking about something much more important. I'm talking about holiday specials, specifically the sitcom Halloween special. A time-honored ritual that, quite frankly, modern TV is not respecting. I'm taking it upon myself to get the youths talking about these classic gems once again. Gen Z, let's start a movement. Let's, once again, make the holidays special. To really get the momentum going, I'm going to be taking an in-depth look at the top 10 sitcom Halloween specials and try to determine, using science, which one is the alpha, the top dog, the spookiest of the spooksters. So join me, won't you? As we journey into a fantastical world of non-canon, a little scarier than usual, comedic television episodes. You already know this, but The Simpsons Tree House of Horror is not a singular Halloween special, but a series of Halloween specials spanning about 30 years. The tradition started in 1990 with season 2's episode, simply titled The Simpsons Halloween Special. It wasn't until Treehouse of Horror 13 that the name stuck, harkening back to that original special where the Simpsons kids told each other scary stories in a treehouse. I'm grouping all of these together because, well, if I broke them apart into separate things, we'd be here for hours. I will, however, give a special shout out to number 4, usually considered to be the best out of all 32 of them. I'm trying to film a video in here. I just remembered that I have a YouTube channel and this guy won't let me. I'm kidding. The special features 3 stories. The Devil and Homer Simpson, a parody of The Devil and Daniel Webster, where Homer sells his soul for a donut. Terror at 5.5 feet, a parody of the Twilight Zone episode Terror at 20,000 feet. If you don't know which one that is, based on name alone, it's the one with the little gremlin on the wing, where Bart sees a gremlin creature undoing the bolts on the side of the school bus. And maybe most iconically, we have Bart Simpson's Dracula, which is a parody of Bram Stoker's Dracula, that 1992 version with Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves. You know the one. These specials are special because people who aren't really even fans of The Simpsons will tune in to watch the Treehouse of Horror episodes. They're generally pretty witty and a good example of parody done right. most of the time. It's also become sort of a tradition for families to marathon the Treehouse of Horror episodes every Halloween. And for that reason, I think The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes are a top contender for the best Halloween sitcom episode of all time. Yes, I know it's more than one episode. Life isn't fair. If you grew up in the early 2000s, this was the Halloween special, genuinely scaring an entire generation. This bad boy had to be in the running. The story basically goes that Tipton Suite 613 is haunted by the ghost of a scorned lover who accidentally caused her own death with a piece of broken mirror. The Sweet Life crew goes into the room to investigate, and Disney Channel spooky antics ensue. Later revealed to all be a prank to get back at Zach for being, I don't know, a little freak, I guess. The part that scared most of us was, this.
I was betrayed, so I'm angry.
Does anyone smell pizza?
Oh, don't ever say that word!
I love pizza. What are you gonna do about it? Daddy, no!
Obviously, as an adult, it's pretty goofy, but as a kid, it had us, and this is what it says in the script I wrote, so apologies. It had us, quote, quivering in our boots. Love a good boot quiver. I had friends who would change the channel if this episode was on over that scene. I do, however, think it's only a classic for a certain generation. One of those you just had to be there kind of deals. And for that, I'm afraid that the Ghost of Suite 613 is going to have to go a little bit lower on the ranking. So I'm going to be honest, I included this on the list solely because, like most things Degrassi, it's wild. If you know nothing else about Degrassi, you probably know that Drake was in the show and his character Jimmy used a wheelchair after being shot in a school shooting. The shooting episode is obviously a big emotional touch point for the rest of the series. It's handled incredibly seriously, as it should be. Until, well, the basic premise of The Curse of Degrassi is that the ghost of the school shooter from all those seasons ago is haunting the school. Yes, you heard that correctly. They do funny little references to classic horror, while also shining a spotlight on the trauma suffered by Spinner, who still believes he's responsible for the shooting. It's definitely a choice for a Halloween special. It wasn't shown very many times, for obvious this is incredibly tone-deaf reasons. I don't know, definitely not a classic, definitely near the bottom of the list. I just wanted to acknowledge it, because it is insane. This is an absolute favorite of mine. Community as a series was no stranger to spoofs and parodies, and they absolutely killed it with this spoof of zombie films. It's funny, genuinely scary at times, and really just top tier. This special is almost always near the top of best Halloween special lists, and for good reason. Taking on pop culture references in a way that doesn't feel clunky. Epidemiology definitely deserves a spot near the top. It was really hard choosing from Bob's Burgers collection of Halloween specials. There's so much good stuff there. At the end of the day, though, I had to go with The Haunting. For this joke alone. I mean...
It made scary sounds.
Mort, how did you make that crazy croaking sound?
That actually came out of me. I threw my back out when I was making that big boom sound. I'm in a lot of pain.
After Louise claims that she can no longer be scared, Bob and Linda create their own haunted house to prove her wrong. The whole thing is so fun and so Bob's Burgers. It's also, as Bob's Burgers tends to be, kind of adorable and has a cozy feeling. I won't spoil anything, but in typical fashion, things go off the rails and it's just goofy and lovable, and go watch it, or any Bob's Burgers Halloween special for that matter. Except for that one where the kids get trapped in that box behind the dumpster, that one stresses me out. It's rare for a holiday special to be considered one of the best episodes in the series, but here we are. This episode is a parody of slasher movies, with the characters being trapped in detention and plucked off one by one. It's funny and scary and deals with some pretty heavy topics of guilt and feeling like you're being left behind by the world. I should say it deals with some heavy themes much better than the Degrassi one did. This one's gotta go near the top for cultural impact alone. I'm honestly probably gonna rewatch it sometime this season. It's been a really long time, and I remember it really packing a punch. Listen, I know Parks and Rec has a couple Halloween specials, but this is the Halloween special in my book. Every Halloween, this kid, Greg Pikitis, vandalizes a statue in Pawnee, and every year Leslie Knope tries to stop him. Sounds like a pretty simple premise, even kind of boring, but the psychological roller coaster this episode becomes. Did Greg vandalize the statue? Have we been gaslit by the Parks Department? Intrigue! It also has the best joke of the entire show.
It's totally okay that you didn't wear a costume.
I did. I'm a straight person.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
See?
So good. Going in the middle because it's not quite as iconic as others on the list, but it's still a favorite of mine. It is amazing that this got made. Okay, honestly, it's amazing that Glee got made at all. The episode goes about how you'd expect. The Glee Club at McKinley High is putting on a Rocky Horror, which is an insane thing to do at a high school. The thing I remember most about this episode is Finn being cast as Rocky and feeling uncomfortable with the prospect of prancing around nearly naked, then walking through the halls of the school in a golden Speedo to get used to it, I guess. As with most things Glee, it's such a mess and so camp. I guess we'll put it near the middle for being iconic, despite very problematic. Okay, yes, you're right. This episode came out in September and is not technically a Halloween special. But come on. We've got the hash-slinging slasher. We've got Nosferatu. We've got Greasy Walls. It's a classic. It taught a whole generation of 7-year-olds what Nosferatu is.
Wait! If that was you on the phone and you on the bus, then who was flickering the lights?
Nosferatu!
Which, by the way, I consider one of the best gags in television history. So bizarre, but man, does it work. And still today, those same kids, now in their 30s, are still quoting this episode. Literally iconic. I would put it at the top, but like I said, it's not technically a Halloween special, so it's losing some points for breaking the rules, which I made up and am now breaking. You know what? Shut up. This is a science. So, what's the best? Well, it kind of depends on personal taste. Do you prefer something scary or funny? Something with heart and tradition? Or something a little more subversive? With this subjectivity taken into account, I feel confident saying that the best sitcom Halloween special of all time is In Your Heart. And is the Venture Brothers of Very Venture Halloween. Okay, bye! Hi guys! Long time no see. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry to come back with something a little goofy, a little lighthearted. I was going to do a deep dive into Nathan Fielder's The Rehearsal, but then I watched Eye Patch Wolf's video on that, and we had the same thesis and same talking points, and it definitely would have come across like I was copying that video. But I hope you liked this. If you did like this and you'd like to see more, feel free to subscribe or give the comment a like, or give the comment. No, you're giving the video a comment. You're not giving the comment a like. What comment? Give the video a comment or a like. I'm rusty. Anyway, if you would like to support the channel, you can, subscribe to Patreon. You get Discord access. You get credit at the end of videos. One day you might get a blooper reel. Listen, it'll happen. It'll happen. It'll happen. There's also a link to some merch. All of that is in the link tree down in the description. And if you didn't like the video, well, aren't you special? Bye!